In the early hours of January 1st, 2023, just minutes after Nigerians welcomed the new year, Mr. Kehinde Fatoyibo and his wife Mrs. Bukola Fatoyibo, their son Oreoluwa and their domestic staff Felix returned home after attending a crossover church service in the Ibara area of Abeokuta, Ogun State. The streets were still alive with celebrations. Some families were heading home from church, while others continued celebrating the arrival of the new year. For the Fatoyibo family, however, the celebration would come to a devastating end at approximately 1:38 a.m. in the morning. Neighbors noticed thick smoke rising from the family's residence. Moments later, flames engulfed part of the house. Believing it was an accidental fire, neighbors rushed inside to rescue the family. Instead, they walked into what investigators would later describe as a carefully staged crime scene. Inside the house, Mr. and Mrs. Fatoyibo were found dead. Their bodies had been badly burnt by the fire, but two members of the household were nowhere to be found. The couple's only surviving son, Oreoluwa, was missing. So was the family's domestic staff, Felix. After the mystery, the family's vehicle had also disappeared. Investigators immediately noticed something unusual. The security gate showed no signs of forced entry. Nothing suggested that strangers had broken into the compound. Whoever entered that house that night appeared to have done so with little difficulty. As news spread, one of Kehinde's close friends contacted his younger brother, Samuel, who lived in Lagos. He simply urged him to come to Abeokuta immediately, refusing to explain what had happened over the phone. Samuel rushed to Ogun State. When he arrived, he went straight to his brother's bedroom. There, he found the lifeless body of his brother and sister-in-law. What was supposed to have been a joyful New Year celebration had become one of the darkest days of his family's life. Police officers soon arrived and began processing the scene. Their examination quickly revealed that this was not a fatal house fire. Investigators found evidence that both victims had suffered fatal injuries before the fire started. The fire, they believed, had been deliberately set in an attempt to destroy evidence. This was now officially a homicide investigation because the family's vehicle had disappeared and the family had a personal driver. Investigators turned their investigation towards the personal driver, Lekan Adekunbi, who had worked for the family for several years. He was arrested for questioning. While investigators were still trying to understand what had happened, the case took an unexpected turn. Later that same day, the missing domestic staff, Felix, suddenly reappeared. He was injured but alive. His account shocked investigators. According to Felix, the assailants tied both his hands and those of Oreoluwa before forcing them into the boot of the family's vehicle. They were driven to Ogun River Bridge. There, both of them were thrown into the river. Felix said the rope binding his hands loosened after he entered the water, allowing him to free himself and swim to safety. Oreoluwa, however, was unable to escape. Police immediately searched the river but were unable to recover his body. Local fishermen were asked to alert authorities if they discovered anything. The following morning, their search came to a heartbreaking end. Fishermen spotted a body floating in the river. Police recovered it and brought Felix to assist with identification. The victim was confirmed to be Oreoluwa Fatinoye. His hands were still tied behind his back, matching Felix's account of the attack. Meanwhile, investigators learned that something else had happened while Lekan remained in police custody. After discovering that Felix had survived, the suspect reportedly became increasingly restless. Not long after, he complained of illness and was taken to a hospital under police supervision. While receiving treatment, he escaped. Investigators said he took advantage of a moment when he was not properly restrained and fled by climbing over the hospital fence. His escape triggered public outrage. The divisional police officer responsible for the station where he had been detained was removed for negligence. The officer responsible for escorting him also faced disciplinary action. Ogun State Police Command immediately assigned additional detectives from the anti-kidnapping unit and the homicide section to track him down. 21 days later, investigators located Lekan hiding in Abeokuta and arrested him once again. This time, police said he confessed. According to investigators, Lekan had worked as Mr. Fatinoye's driver since 2018. He claimed he had repeatedly requested a salary increase, which was declined. He also requested a financial assistance to purchase a motorcycle, but said that his request was also rejected. Police alleged that resentment eventually turned into a robbery plan. Investigators said Lekan recruited two associates, Ahmed Adetula and Wasiu Adeniyi, to assist him. Knowing the family's routine, they chose to strike immediately after the family returned from their crossover church service. Because Lekan was a trusted employee, he was able to lead his accomplice into the compound without attracting suspicion. Even the family's security dog remained calm because he was familiar with him. According to the police, once the family entered the house, the attackers confronted them. They stole several expensive mobile phones before forcing Mr. Fatinoye to transfer money electronically. Investigators said an attempted transfer to one suspect failed. A second transfer of approximately 1.1 million was then successfully made into another account linked to the suspects. Police believe the attackers soon realized that the electronic transfer could easily be tracked. Investigators allege that they decided to eliminate every witness. When Oreoluwa and Felix entered the room during the attack, they were also overpowered, tied up and taken away into the family's vehicle. After abandoning them at the river, the suspect allegedly arranged for the stolen vehicle to be sold far below its market value. Police later recovered evidence indicating that the vehicle had been dismantled and sold as spare parts. Further investigations led to the arrest of additional suspects who were allegedly involved in purchasing the stolen vehicle and helping Lekan evade arrest after his escape. In total, 7 suspects were eventually arraigned before a magistrate court in Abeokuta. They were remanded pending further legal proceedings. At the time this documentary was produced, there was no publicly available information confirming the final judgment of this case. For the Fatinoye family, the tragedy was almost impossible to comprehend. Just months earlier, they had reportedly lost another son while he was playing football. Now, within a single night, they lost both parents and their remaining son. A family that had entered the new year together never got the chance to see another sunrise together. Cases like this are painful reminders that greed, resentment, and betrayal can destroy lives in a matter of moments. Thank you for watching once again. Stay safe and of course, this is The Wicked Crime TV.